Today we're on Redbird River, which is in southeastern Kentucky. It heads in the counties, I believe, of Bell and Leslie and flows down into Clay. It's one of our native muskellunge streams. And near the community of Oneida, Goose Creek and Redbird River form, and that becomes South Fork of the Kentucky River. It's a very beautiful stream, and today we're going to put in here at the Peabody Trailhead access for the Peabody Crest OHV Trail. There's signs here that say there's a day use fee, but if you're floating the river, you don't have to pay a fee. And you go across a little slab bridge over into a campground, and you can park there and launch. We're going to take out at Airline Road, which is off Kentucky 66 near the community of Big Creek. And it's about 5.5 miles that we're going to float today.
I was really impressed with the diversity of the stream, and that's the landscape of the stream and the fish that were in it. It seemed like every bend we went around was something just a little bit different. There were sections where the bottom was flat, almost like a slab rock, and the water was moving pretty quickly across that. And then we come to pea gravel and sand, and then we'd have a slightly deeper hole that was chunk rock and boulders, and then we might go around another bend and there would be a spot that is 8 or 10 feet deep. You can't see the bottom of it, just turquoise blue water. And then other spots, it was just mud bank everywhere, and we saw beavers and muskrats in those areas.
The Redbird is a little bit tricky to figure out the flow through the USGS water data gauge. The gauge for the Redbird's actually on the South Fork Kentucky River at Boonville, so it's well downstream of here. Today, that gauge reads 104 cubic feet per second, which is low. At this flow level, I would go ahead and give a good 8 hours or so, especially if you plan to fish. You could cut a lot of that off if you just want to paddle straight through, but that's not our way here at Fish and Wildlife. We like to fish. Got it. Smallmouth, smallmouth.
There was a huge variety of fish. All the black bass species we saw, sunfish species, muskie, plenty of muskie, red horse, suckers, all the gar species that I could think of in that part of the state. It seemed like I saw every fish species that I would have expected to see, and just a huge change in scenery the whole way through the float.
When the water is this low, you're going to drag, especially at the beginning of this float. There's quite a few areas where you're going to have to get out and walk your boat through shallow shoals. Also, the Redbird is a small, intimate stream, so it's subject to deadfalls, which are trees that are across the waterways. The water in the Redbird is exceptionally clear. So in your fishing decisions, you'll want to make sure to downsize your lures and downsize your line, because there's a lot of places that are 8, 10 feet deep and you can see the bottom pretty easily. If you're after smallmouth bass, a very subtle lure like this is a 3-inch Cinco, which is a soft plastic stick bait. It gives off very few negative clues to the fish, and it looks like a little stick floating through the water. Sometimes you think, well, how would something with no action work? Well, that's exactly what you want when it's clear. But I love this bullet style because it gets on the bottom fairly quickly and it doesn't get hung very often. And if you're going to be fishing this, I highly recommend fluorocarbon line. I wouldn't use anything heavier than 6 pound. You may want to even downsize to 4 pound line if you can handle it. This color is smoke. This particular one has no flakes in it. It's nearly translucent. Again, this is one of my favorite colors in ultra clear water. All right.
What you got, Lee?
A nice smallmouth. Yeah, this is my fish of the day by far.
That's a good one right here.
All right. Another lure I threw, this is a 3-inch soft plastic stick bait. You could rig it on a 1/0 offset wide gap worm hook, but a guide on New River taught me this trick. You just nose hook them like this. And that seems like you're gonna get hung every cast, but you don't. And it just falls through the water column so naturally that way. This is called a prism shad. This is an excellent color. You see how it's a little bit translucent, but at the same time almost prismatic in its colors. If you don't know what else to throw, find one of these 3-inch soft plastic stick baits, that are thicker and nose rig them and just fish it weightless. Work your butt off to get that lure on the bottom.
So I did catch a muskie on the Redbird during our float, even though it was hot and sunny. And this is the lure that I caught it on. This is primarily what I start with anytime I'm river or stream fishing for muskie. It's just a large, oversized spinnerbait in a way. It's got 3 willow blades, which put off a lot of flash. And then I think a trailer hook's pretty important when you're muskie fishing. A lot of times you'll hook them with that trailer hook as they're trying to strike this big profile. And also like some type of a soft plastic trailer. This is a paddle tail, but I also throw curly tails on here as well. And the reason that I like these spinnerbaits when I'm stream or river muskie fishing is because I can throw them right up into a log jam. And since there are no exposed hooks, this is how it runs in the water. If I hit a log, it'll just roll right off. So I don't deal with nearly as many snags and nearly as many hangups. Muskie love blades. They like flash, they like commotion. That's something that a lot of really good muskie anglers have told me in the past. That's why I go with big blades.
We hope that you come down here and float and check out our Blue Water Trails page at fw.ky.gov and enjoy it. Come and immerse yourself into beauty, clear water. You're gonna see so many fish, you're gonna catch so many fish that you can put all those worries away for just a little while and get away from the world for a bit.